I don't see how that's going to work. I really don't, from a traffic perspective. It doesn't work now. I mean, what we've got doesn't work. So
we did, in all fairness, we did review that with the applicant at the LDP status. I mean, that's why the LDPs are so important. When we look at these, that's why we deferred the other one, because we really have to spend time looking at the LDPs to make sure all of those items are addressed. So he did that, and then he did the building permit, and now he's here because he's requesting a sign variance because they want to add some art murals on the side, not necessarily their firm identification or their product identification, more like art murals that say fresh and, you know, things like that to kind of dress up the facade of the building.
So with the signage that he's requested, does that increase the percentage of signage significantly as to not be in compliance with how many square feet of sign that he has for that particular building?
That's the number.
It's the total number of signs?
Yeah.
So what would be compelling us to approve more signs than what's really allowed?
Well, that's why Mr. Sarah is here, and he can explain why he needs the additional signage.
Absolutely. So first of all, our site is located about 4 feet below grade on Highway 9, so it's already a little bit of a hole. And because of this, and because of the trees that are required along the Highway 9 frontage, as you're going along Highway 9, it's very, very hard to see. As you can see right here, if you're going north, and this is should be in front of you guys on the north view sightline study. One of the wall signs that we're currently having is completely obstructed by the tree. You can't see it until you flip to the next page.
So southbound, it's not seen.
On the north view, one of the wall signs, you can't see it. This is the wall sign that's above the drive-through.
Oh, that's it. Is the wall sign above the drive-through really all that important?
Well, it says Del Taco on it, and from this view, the driver really can't see the Del Taco, except for if they're kind of looking at it as they get close and they're completely taking their eyes off the road. They can see the ground sign, but on the other views, if they're coming the other way, they can't see the ground sign. So the only way you see Del Taco is really, really low, and whenever you're coming from the south, you can only see it on this side, which if you see this tree, as you keep driving along, then you can't see that.
Yeah, most of the people that use your restaurant, will use your restaurant there are office employees in the general surrounding Windward area. I promise you, in less than 60 days, those people will know exactly where Del Taco is, sign or not. And so,
Very possible.
no, it's really likely. Have you ever tried to go to McDonald's on 12 o'clock on Windward? Or to Chick-fil-A, or to Arby's, or Kentucky Fried Chicken, or whatever that one is? The fact of the matter is, you can't see those buildings either. I mean, you can see quite frankly, I think McDonald's is pretty obscured, isn't it, from trees and stuff on it?
no, not really.
Well, like the Arby's. The Arby's is for
Yeah,
sure. and
Arby's is.
The Kentucky Fried Chicken, whatever that is over there, A&W and the Kentucky Fried, it is.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A you can really see. But really on McDonald's, you can't see it very well. But you need to ride over there and look at their parking lot at 12 o'clock, and you will realize that the signage is an unimportant thing. I would probably be less likely to approve any changes for the signs that require us to give you a variance on what the signs are going to be or not be. Because I really believe that you put the sign up, everybody drives north and south on that road. You very seldom have somebody just driving south. I promise you they're going to know exactly where your restaurant is. They'll know it quickly.
I see your point, but those were the hardships, and that's really why we were fighting for more signs, it's so the driver can see the signs. And they can
The problem is we don't want more signs. We want less
I
signs.
understand.
So we're looking for less signs. You know, it's an impact on the community to have these restaurants. And for me, it's a debate among all of us about where it should or should not be and whatnot. But we can minimize the amount of signs and
Mr. Chair, the other item would be the backlighting the monument sign. I will say all the signs, the board's always only recommended to have what the code requires, which is the ground-mounted, externally lit signs. So like when the bank.
Is there a love affair with one way or the other? I personally don't like the signs that have the lights on them. I'd prefer to have the other way, but I understand people, because to me, I really despise the sign at Navy Federal, because the reality is when I go to Windward, it shines in my eyes if I'm going there in the middle of the night. So, you know, I personally don't like those signs, but it's all in what the eye of the beholder and what the city and what
And it is
ordinance
part of-
calls.
Like Laura says, it's part of that Highway 9 master plan. That's the requirement to have those types of signs on the monument signs, the lighting of those signs. They're all external.
That's a real tight area for where that sign's going to be, isn't it?
Yes.
So the problem's going to be is the direction of the lights that have to be placed up underneath it, that monument sign. Does that not make that sign a bigger sign or more cumbersome because they
No,
put the
the
lights
sign
in?
is still the same size per code. They would just have to put some lights on the ground and shine them up onto the sign, so it's not as, the backlit signs are kind of more commercial looking, and they were trying to create a different look on that corridor.
Okay.
So that's why they went that way, and the board has been very consistent in always recommending that we maintain that look,
I would not want to go against that, however.
but it's not working. Do you think it's better to be illuminated?
I'm not a sign expert by any stretch. I just know that the Navy Federal signs in my eyes when I go down the road, so, and that's my only point of perspective.
And again, we can ask Mr. Sarah to, you know, he can explain his hardship, why why he thinks they need the internally illuminated sign.
Absolutely, and that goes really with the depth of the site. And what they're thinking is when you're coming along, it's going to be a lot easier to see something that's in the ground over here. There's a light on it. You can see it if it's illuminated as you're coming in. You get that, like you said, the Navy Federal. You see it. You know, as they're coming along, it's not going to necessarily shine in their eyes because right here it's even covered. But as they're driving past it, it'll come more into view.
It's not a deal breaker to me one way or the other, the ones that doesn't shine in my eyes. You know, I understand if that's what we're doing on Highway 9, which it is, then we need to be in compliance with what we've done on Highway 9. So we want try to get as much as we can to be consistent. And the problem is we allow you a variance. Lo and behold, Burger King's going to come across next door to you and want us to give them a variance as well.
Bob,
So-
what was the Shell? What's the lighting on the Shell station on the corner of Bethany? What's the lighting on that one? Is that the same?
Yeah.
It's probably, it was done under Fulton County, so it's probably internal.
That was
Great.
Has there been a study done on signs in terms of external, internal lighting?
The sign, there's a whole sign institute, and they study colors and sizes and speeds and all that.
So what we really want to do is try to make this as much as we can humanly make it, like for it to blend into the community versus being a standout thing. And I understand Del Taco wants it to stand out so you know they're there. Goodyear blimps, cheap, rent, go above it, but temporarily. But my point being is that everybody's going to know where Del Taco is. There's not a Del Taco anywhere close. You close the one down in Alpharetta. So we don't have one. So if I want a taco, I got to go to Marietta or somewhere else. But,
A fast food.
yeah, if I want a fast food taco, it's cheap.
The other thing, if the applicant can just address why they feel it's necessary to have the art murals that say flavor and things like that on the sides of the building.
Yes.
Fresh and flavor.
Well, Del Taco believes that something such as fresh flavor coming along the side of the building, it's not lit up, it's not saying Del Taco again in another place. It's something that, you know, as the driver can drive by whenever they see the site, if they're going to Aldi getting groceries, they see something that says, oh, fresh. You know, it's going to kind of spark something in their mind that would kind of more want to check that out, or oh, flavor. And it's not something that's just saying tacos at them. So it's really just something else to really help with the attraction of the site.
It's
To
marketing.
Also give it a different look.
Again, I don't think we should vary from what the ordinance says that we should do, and I don't think it's going to hurt Del Taco's business one bit. We do not have a Del Taco. So,
Because I think Target asked for some additional wall signage for the pharmacy.
I don't think we approved the additional signs, or did we approve the pharmacy sign? We did approve the pharmacy sign.
Well, the variance was approved.
Yeah,
And I think Navy Federal got a variance for signage too.
I mean, how's the board feel in general about them painting these murals on the walls?
Are they independent signs or are they painted?
They're gonna be painted on
on the wall, right?
Painted on the wall, aren't they?
I like them myself, but
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, I
kinda
think
like-
they break
kinda-
up the facade a little bit.
Okay.
but-
nostalgic type
As long as they're not bright orange,
back in the day.
make them blend. So is the board okay with the murals stating flavor and fresh?
As long as they're not bright orange and they blend in with the color of the facade.
As long as your color of your murals, as long as your murals
Red
meet,
and orange, I think.
show us a rendering of what the colors are, bring it to staff and let them say that's okay.
I think he's giving you that.
This is
Yeah.
the color?
I believe it's on there.
So this is the rendering, yeah, these are, so he's
So
talking about
is
these
that
right
a-
here.
Is that
Okay.
red? What is that?
So they match,
That's a barn color, barn wood.
yeah, they actually match the
That's fine.
The front of
the
them.
main signage.
Are they painted or are they wood?
They're painted.
Okay. And made to look like wood?
Right.
That's a stucco finish on the building itself, I think, on this side, isn't it?
It'd be kind of neat if they were
But
wood.
it's physically painted to the building, right? It's not
Okay.
applicated.
I believe so, yes, sir.
Well, the problem's gonna be if you make it out of wood, it's gonna rot.
Right.
Then they won't
Depends on
service
what
it.
kind of wood you use.
Okay, concrete siding. My point being is, it's another maintenance issue, and what we're trying to get down to is that the outside of these structures last as long as they can possibly last.
My only concern would be that painting staying, if that
Try it.
flakes
Run it.
off, that would.
Do we have anything in our ordinances in terms of code compliance that their signage has to remain in good, like external buildings, for example, shopping?
We do.
So we can enforce these signs not looking well, or,
Fresh, has to
Or-
look fresh.
yeah, we want fresh to be flavored and fresh. So,
They have to be maintained, yes.
Fresh paint.
so,
So
Yes.
So we've got comments on the wall murals. Do we have any more comments on the internally illuminated ground sign? I got one yes, I guess. Anybody else?
how does,
Adding these comments to my staff report.
the problem comes down to is if we give the permission to do an internal lit sign here, then we will open the floodgates to internal lit signs somewhere else.
Well, we've done that already, so.
Okay.
This isn't the first one the board has
But they're
taken,
on the,
so.
those were on the building though, were they not?
I think Navy Federal asked for a variance for an internally illuminated ground sign. I think that's the only new commercial build, well, the doctor's office. That's the latest new building we had, and they did the same thing. So. And again, the board is instructed to look at each case on an individual basis, so we don't really look at precedents or.
Bob, my idea on that slot is, that's probably only a 6-foot wide swath that's right there before it turns around to the parking lot. And I just think if you take and put externally lit, try to externally light that sign, I think that you're gonna have shadowing and
Yeah. How
other
big is that
issues.
sign?
So I personally, my own personal take is to let them have that particular sign on that very narrow piece of dirt be a backlit sign.
How
That
big
would-
is
I
the
believe
sign?
it's less than 6 feet tall.
No, I mean,
never-
but the sign itself.
correctly.
The maximum size is 32 square feet, 6 feet tall.
So it's not big.
I mean, it's small enough.
Yeah, because
that
that
it
could
probably
actually,
wouldn't be-
when you're pulling out of the
I don't have a problem
drive-through, that light could actually be shining in your face, and you're trying to
Yeah.
pull out on the Highway 9 as well.
So let's go with the idea that it's a safety issue that we would vote on
I think that,
having it
I think
a
that's
internally
fair.
lit sign.
So we're good on the non-illuminated wall murals, the internally illuminated ground signs,
And then
and
we have the,
I think we said
extra
no
wall
on the other
signs. Did we do
wall signs,
No.
didn't
Actually,
we? 2 additional illuminated wall signs, I think we said no on that.
Did we talk, no, we haven't talked about
okay.
that.
All right, well, we're kind of on board with the murals.
The murals.
We're kind of on board with the illuminated sign.
Okay, so they're allowed 2 wall signs, and I think you're asking for,
For,
The extra, right, the extra Del Taco,
so you're asking for 3?
right.
Okay, so they're asking for 3 Del Taco illuminated wall signs.
So you're asking, the one over the drive-through that you can't see from anywhere, you still want to go with that one?
Yes.
I would say no, you can't even see it.
Do you think that sign's so important to squash your deal based on the sign over the drive-through?
The ones on
Do I
this
think it's
side.
important to, well,
The bottom line is, we give you the murals and we do the backlit, would you think you've had a good day?
You can't see from anywhere.
I guess beggars can't be choosers, I suppose so.
Well, you're not begging. He makes a valid point. Valid point, if you can't see the drive-through sign from the road, what difference does it make?
Well, I mean, you're seeing it along the road, but it's something that, my point whenever I was saying you can't see that from that point in the road, was that you wouldn't, if you're coming along that direction, until you really get up next to it, you're not really seeing anything that says Del Taco. But if we have that, let me pull that up.
Yeah, but you got 3 other signs that are facing Highway 9.
Right, but it's also for people who are also in the shopping center. They're going to be turning in. They're going to be over at Bobby Joe's, Chicago.
Bobby G's.
Bobby Cheese.
Get it
Bobby
right.
G's. Sorry, I ate there, so it's very good. But if you're going to see
Expensive.
something like that, then you don't have anywhere else that's saying Del Taco.
So the flavor and
So
the fresh
you're
wouldn't be
seeing the
enticing
back of the
enough.
road. I mean, you're seeing the fresh and flavor, but you're not.
You know why I'm saying the fresh and flavor is okay? Because it's not illuminated.
Right, I know.
So, do you want to paint Del Taco on your board up there and make it not illuminated?
That's a suggestion I'll give to them.
I'm not suggesting that, I'm just asking. But what does the board think about, can we have public comment or comment on this above the drive-through?
They're trying to put 3 right here, plus the one at the...
So I think the eyebrow should be lit green.
It's
Go
an
ahead.
awful small building for having
Yeah,
4
for-
illuminated
for
signs.
Yeah.
that many signs.
I mean, if,
Yeah, that's a lot.
My version is fresh and flavored, your main corner right there lit. Forget about the drive-through
2
Del
marquee
Taco.
signs.
Yeah,
2 marquee signs,
I'm okay with that.
and let you have your little sign down at the end, rear lit.
You realize the ground sign?
Yeah.
The ground sign illuminated from the rear.
Okay.
You get your fresh, you get your flavor, you get your 2 signs on the corner, and I promise to buy a taco.
All right. There we go. Sounds good.
So, okay, somebody like to make that motion?
Yeah, I make that's a courtesy.
Courtesy review?
but-
You've had a good day.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Oh, do we have any public comment about the signs? You sure?
That's worse.
Okay.
Thank you guys very much.
All right.
We can't be talking about 33-225 Francis Road next, are we?
Yeah.
We are.
Come on down.
I'm Scott Reese with Bromelo Reese and Associates, doing business at 13685 Highway 9, Milton, Georgia 30004. I'm here tonight representing the applicant in his application to rezone the property located at 3225 Francis Road from AG1 to R. Where did we go? 2 or 3? 3. Okay. We have K-9 assistance across the street, special use permit. We're surrounded by Crooked Creek subdivision, CUP zoning, 12,000 square foot lot minimum, 2,000 square foot minimum house size. We're proposing 2 30,000 square foot lots with minimum 2,400 square foot homes. We're in compliance with the comprehensive land use plan. We are in compliance with the with the Highway 9 overlay. We're asking for no variances. We're proposing just what staff has spent so many hours delegating for this property. So I'll be glad to answer any questions if you so desire.
Is that on sewer over there?
Yes, it is. There's a manhole sitting on the back of the property.
That was my only question.
Just to remind the board, when the applicant came in for the demolition permit on this, the comment came up that Crooked Creek would want to see some additional setbacks around their borders?
No, I just think my comment to Scott was to, advertise, see if anyone in the surrounding area right there had any comments. So
And
that was
I
it.
told you that we would be going through the process. We have put up signage, we have
I saw signs.
We have mailed letters to everyone.
They're big.
Within the, with the zone, within the required distances. We've had a community zoning information meeting.
Did you get any comments back from those?
I think the residents are here.
Okay.
They were concerned about what is going to be built there. So I tried to explain to them as best I could. I'm sure they will have comments since they're here.
There's 2 houses, correct?
2 houses, 30,000 square foot lots. These are not for sale houses. These are contract houses. Or these are owner occupied.
Okay. All right, has anybody set on a plan or anything yet? What they want, what they're gonna put there?
They're working on, but
Okay.
until we go forward,
Then
I'm cautioning them, let's not spend money until we get through the process.
I'm just looking for the idea that it's something that is conforming to the neighborhood that's around it. And
Well, I will say that the properties would be subject to architectural review and to the rural viewshed criteria.
Okay,
So they would have to come in and show staff the architectural design of the buildings and we'd make sure that it was in conformance with other houses in the area.
so I'm gonna ask public, if they have a public comment. I'm gonna ask board if that's okay, if they got any, is there any comments you'd like? I mean, that's your district, your area.
No, I'd like to hear public comment.
Okay, then, any other questions on the board, or, okay?
Angela.
Whoever would like to be first.
My name is Michael Schieffer, 540 Heron Run Court. I live in Crooked Creek. That's Hal Reddick, and the 2 of us are probably 4 of the most impacted houses for this property. I'd like to see what the houses look like that they're putting up. I don't have a major problem with it, but I'd like to have privacy trees put in, or a fencing or something. I'm more concerned about. I don't know how you want to speak.
Would, when they build these houses, the 2 houses, they're gonna be owner occupied. I mean, they're gonna build to suit, basically. Would you find it agreeable if they were to build it in conforming to what Crooked Creek and the area that it touches yours, like,
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
as long as it's conforming? And so that is something that would come up before staff review, and, right, Bob? I mean, you'd have to come and look at how the house is gonna be put on the lot. They'll have to be within the setbacks that are appropriate.
Yes, we would look at the architecture, but I don't have the authority to dictate a fence or something like that,
Right.
a privacy fence. That would have to be something that the applicant would agree to.
Well, that could be, that can be a suggestion you can add to the
And
zoning.
the rezoning, they can add a condition. The council can say, okay, there's a condition to do that, but it would be up to council to add that condition.
The landscaping plan itself would be something we might not see, but staff would see.
Yes, and the council might say, we want specific screening, and they could add these conditions. So
Okay.
I would suggest that the applicant, of course, when you approach, the council meeting, you go
Okay.
and voice your opinion, the council will probably say, okay, we'll add some conditions to mitigate your concerns.
Okay,
But
that's
it's not
good.
something that's there for your staff. Internally, we would look at the architecture and make sure that the architectural character of the building is in compliance with the surrounding area.
Okay.
So we do something that's
Laura, you might know this
So,
question.
yeah, just a comment, Bob, on the fencing architecture. There is a fencing that Crooked Creek has all around the neighborhood. So there is fencing in the back of that property, which is Crooked Creek owned. And actually, Crooked Creek is working with the city. They're going to replace and put in all new, yeah, I'm sure you're aware of that, right? So that's in process. So I would say there would need to, I mean, as this moves forward, probably needs to be, working with Mark Law and getting some sort of barrier plantings between our fence and whatever is built there. And then I would say another comment for the lot owners would be to look at the lot that is on the other side on Francis Road as you're heading towards Cogburn, past the Crooked Creek back entrance. On the left is another home that is on a separate lot in front of Crooked Creek. That house is done very well, and it looks really well with our aesthetic. That would be probably a good home to look at as a potential. So,
Across from this.
yeah, it's across from Old Saddle.
I know the house, it looks
Lane.
like it's just sitting outside the subdivision.
Yeah,
Right,
it's a
but
big house.
it works there.
Yeah, that's
They-
what I'm saying,
they-
it looks like a Crooked Creek.
Yeah,
house,
it does. They did a really nice job of integrating that.
2,400 square feet.
But
It's a big
tonight,
house.
the comments that you collectively, agreed to would be forwarded to the council.
I mean, my comment would be specifically this, is, for example, is there a setback on the backside from the back of the house in Crooked Creek to the back of the lot? Is there a number?
There are setback.
They're different.
They're different because
pods.
there are different pods in there.
How far, sir, how far is your house from the property line in the back, from the back
I
of your
butt up
house?
against it.
Pardon me?
My property butts up against this property they're selling.
But
No,
I
but what's
think
your setback?
Your house,
I mean-
your setback.
Oh.
so
For
where
example,
your
if you walk
house-
out your back door, how many feet to the back of the property line?
30 feet?
So not far.
That's pretty close.
So, my only suggestion would be is what's reasonable for this group of people is conforming with, in some degrees, with what's around them, where if the setback is this, and I don't know that it would be fair to ask them to put their house
Right.
70 feet from the back of the property line when his house is 30 feet. And so there's got to be some sort of correlation to where they set these houses and not put undue burden on them or you, or cause you to have, an impact, so to speak. But
Just so the board knows, R3 has its own setbacks. Scott may know this. I think they're the same. Are they the same as AG1?
No, they're not.
Okay, so, I mean, they don't have any concurrent variances, so we really can't mess with the setbacks in this
arena.
request.
Okay.
Who approves what the houses look like? This board?
No.
There's
Not in-
no, I mean, well, as the city architect will review them.
And I would suspect there's some level of what you can't force somebody to build a specific style of house. You can, try to make sure it's within. I don't know that you can make somebody build if I wanted to build a house that's round, I could go build a round house. So I don't know that you can really state that we could tell them.
Subject to architectural
You'd have to
review,
catch
and
Bob on a
I don't
bad
think
day.
I would allow a round house because of
I want to get those.
with the area.
Come on.
But,
What's the
It's
energy
a fat
efficiency?
silo.
in general, most of these houses, if they come in and they have a milk and flare to them and they exist.
If these folks went to the trouble to buy these lots, they're not going to put up a junky house. I mean, it's going to be something nice.
The biggest thing that we do is the 360 rule, which is like they usually do a very nice front. We also like to see that duplicated on the sides and the rear.
Do we enforce?
Make the back of the house and the side of the house look appropriate, so that if they come in with a building and the sides have no windows, and, that usually gets rejected, so that the sides and backs look just as nice as the front.
What you really have to look forward to is you have a staff architect that cares what it looks like. You're not going to end up with something, because I promise you, whoever bought this land is paying a pretty penny for that piece of dirt. and they're going to put up something that's nice. They're going to be your neighbors, and you've got a staff architect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay.
Need to go back to 7E,
I gotta go back to 7E.
5E.
So wait,
Oh.
just so that, can I just recap, because the recommendations to the council would be to have some screening, landscape screening, because the fencing would exist, correct?
Right.
That the fencing would exist all around.
Fencing's going to be replaced.
So
but-
you want additional landscape screening
Mhm.
on
On-
their side?
Right, right.
Scott, did you say the sewer connection was at the back of the property?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's pretty standard, I think, on all those lots up there.
Well, we know that the staff architectural review is going to be here on this property, and
So it would just be a recommendation to?
I think it would be a
landscape
recommendation
screening?
Did,
Be no problem.
has Mark already looked at trees out there? Have they, Scott, have they done?
We have done a
Tree review?
tree survey,
Okay,
and your site plan should include the specimen trees along with some other trees.
oh, yeah, okay, got it, yep.
so the only thing that comes out of this courtesy review is the possibility of buffering the back part of the property,
The rear of the property.
the rear of the property. Is that correct?
Yep, I believe so.
Barry, you got anything?
I'm good.
Scott?
Once again,
Okay, 5E, Mr. Carl Hawthorne, not here. So would somebody like to make a motion to table this, or what would you like?
Defer it.
Defer it?
Yeah,
For 30
I'll,
days?
I'll make a motion to defer item
5E.
5E until the next DRB, or no, I'm sorry, for Angela, 30 days or next DRB meeting?
We can say next DRB meeting since we're having one.
Okay,
Well, but that could be
Yeah. I mean, if
that
it's
special meeting.
Friday or.
Yeah.
So I would say 30 days.
I'd say 30 days, because I don't
30,
think,
Well, let's, for the motion, let's say 30 days.
30
Yeah.
days.
Well, we can say next meeting, because if you say 30 days, I'm stuck with.
Yeah, we may not be 30 days till the next meeting or
Right.
whatever.
okay.
Okay,
We can
got
say
it.
Just say the July meeting.
All right, so we are postponing item 5E until the July DRB review meeting.
That works. I
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do we have any new business? Do we have any old business? Do we have any monkey business?
Always.
Then I will call this adjourned.